Hello and welcome to Summer Games 2 on the Commodore 64. This is part of Epyx Games um, multi-event, multi-load series. Summer Games 2 is probably my favourite of all these games. I think it's got the most playable events. I think it's most fun. Um, and let's take a look. Now, when these games come out, most people, well, in the UK anyway, would have bought this on cassette. And Epyx games, they tended to be a bit long-winded on cassette. It could take forever just to load away, load an event. Sometimes it takes more time to load the event than just to play it. But they're still good games. In fact, let's put in that. There we go. Right. There's some okay renditions of various world anthems. What I'll do is you can also play this sort of hot seat. Some of them are simultaneous as well, with two-player mode, or you can have up to 8 players. So this is quite the or these series of games, quite the original party games, long before console gaming made this. Apparently consoles, games like Nintendo 64, or GoldenEye and Xbox games. Apparently they invented party gaming. Well, no, they didn't. It existed long before. If I remember, the first event to play is Triple Jump. Well, we get the opening ceremony first, which features some impossible mission style animation. And, well, there's a reason for that. It's Epyx Games. Presumably they just acquired the sprites from Impossible Mission. At least they were legally allowed to use them, being the same company, unlike Kane. Right, Triple Jump is first up. I'm just speeding up loading a little bit here. As you can see, the graphics are quite bright, quite well defined, and Epyx Games has also had great animation. Trying to remember how to do this now. You've got to coordinate your jumps. That was not a bad first jump. It's just a case of pressing right at the first step, right at the second, and left on the last step. And if the better you coordinate this, the further you jump. And I think that's a better jump. Crowd goes wild, so they're quite happy with that. You get 3 attempts at each event. Or most events, you get 3 attempts. That wasn't quite as good, but still seem happy. Right, on to the next event, which is rowing. Now this is you've got to move left and right, but it's not a quick waggle type game. You've got to really get the timing right. It's all about timing. There we go, and I'm the bottom player, obviously. So I'm ahead at the moment. I'm doing okay. The computer pacer, he's okay. I think he sort of plays with you a little bit, toying with you. So I'm sure he'll come back at me in a minute. I mean, graphically the animation's nice. There's not a lot of detail in the background. So yeah, I won the. There's not a lot of detail, but it doesn't really have to be. Okay, so I obviously I get gold medal in this event because I won it. But if there was more of you playing, then obviously you might not always get gold. Next event is javelin. which is a matter of, I think you hammer the fire button to run, then hold down left to get the right angle for the javelin to throw at. And probably was a bit far from the line there, but that was a good throw. And 70 metres, not great, but I'll try and get a bit closer to the line. And musically, the game's okay. It's not the best music you're going to hear on the 64 by a long shot, but it sets the scene. It's quite atmospheric, quite jolly and upbeat. Oh, I think that's a better throw. Oh, just about the same. I'm sure I can get to 80 metres, but I thought I was over the line there, but we'll see what the computer says. Again, 70 odd metres, well, not even 70, so that was the worst throw of the lot. Right. Equestrian, I think, is up next, which, yeah, the problem with these games is there's so many events, you're never going to like them all. And this is one that's probably not great. It's okay, but the aim of the game is, well, it's an equestrian event, so it's to clear the obstacles with as little faults as possible, or the least amount of faults as possible. And oh, just managed to fall off there. Come on. If the horse refuses to jump, then you've got to go back and try again. Come on, horsey. The animation of the horse, very nice. Even though he's pretty much just a monochromatic brown blob, but the animation sells it though. Okay, that wasn't too bad, I think. Well, not bad for me anyway. Obviously I'll get a gold medal because I'm the only person playing, but there are a list of world records that if you have the disc version it will save them. Certainly in this version anyway it saves them. Obviously if you're playing cassette I don't think it would save them. Right, this is a high jump. I'll just pass a few so I can. Okay, that looks like a good height to jump. This is a matter of hammering the right button to get speed, I think, or timing it to get speed. And then just jump. Oh, managed to do that. I think that was also a bit easy. Can't really. Oops, managed to not attempt that one. Again, the animation's very nice. Nope, didn't attempt that one either. I don't think I got enough speed up for that one. The thing about Epyx games are different from games like Decathlon or Dilly Thompson's Decathlon. A lot of those games were just joystick wagglers, but these games require a bit of skill. I mean, some of them are joystick waggling, but a lot of them are require precise timing or a certain sequence of events. And the control methods are quite well thought out generally. This is fencing. I'm not very good at this one. I'll try. I'm the guy on the left here. Try and lunge at him. Oh. It's just a matter of spending your time knowing when to lunge. Well, I'm getting beaten by the droid here. Now Epyx, they released this is Summer Games 2. They released Summer Games 1 and 2. We had Winter Games, World Games, and we had that was probably the last of the original game series. Then we had California Games, which I quite like. It's actually quite a good game once you get into it. After that, that was probably the last decent games series we had. After that, I think Epyx went through a change of personnel, and we had basically a rebranded game series. It was known as the Games Summer Games, well, the Game Series Summer, and the Games Summer Edition and the Games Winter Edition. That's what we had. And to be honest, those games weren't as good. They were very nice in terms of presentation. They were superb. And some very nice graphics, but the actual game design was a bit lacking, and they were the multi-loads were just torturous. And I don't think Epyx lasted much longer after that. I think they switched to console development, but eventually they went under. It's a shame to see, because certainly in the early days of the 64, they were legends. I think if I had to pick a top 3 of the games series, it would be Summer Games 2, World Games, and California Games. I think in that order probably. I think they were the best of that series. Well, I don't think I'm going to win this, so I think I'll just speed it up and let them win. I could never win that. It's quite tedious, that event. I'm not too keen on that event. Now the next event is cycling, which is quite hard on the keyboard. I'm playing with the keyboard here. On a real 64, you use the joystick and you rotate the joystick round to simulate pedaling, and it's quite hard to do on the keyboard. So I don't think I'm going to do too well. But again, it's all about timing. You got to keep time with the little arrow that appears at the bottom of the screen. You'll see it in a minute. Okay, I'm the bottom player. Yeah, you can see the little arrow at the bottom. I've got to sort of keep my joystick, or pretend joysticks, I'm using keys, keep it in time with the arrow to keep the speed up. But I'm not doing a very good job of it, I must admit. I didn't think I would, so I never do with keys. It's very hard. I mean, I'm catching the computer pace up, but he's just there to he'll slow down if I'm not doing very well. Then he just races away. More fun in 2-player these sort of events. And this is quite an early game in the 64's history. I think 86 maybe, and it rings a bell. So Epyx definitely they were by far offered the best quality games that you could get, I think, on 64 in terms of the presentation and audio visuals. I think Epyx were really leading the way back then. That's not to say there were no great games on the coming from the UK side of things. Many great games, but Epyx were definitely at a high standards. This is the final event, which is whitewater kayaking. I quite enjoy this event actually. You've got to push your little boat through all these gates in the right order. in the right direction. Also, you get penalised if you go in the wrong order. You've got to keep the red gate on your left. Probably making this look quite easy. This is this one I'm approaching now. You've got to reverse through that one. It's got a R symbol. Turn the kayak round. Okay, and then I've got to turn around again to get through this one. Keep banging against these bloody rocks. Fortunately you don't take any damage, but they slow you down or bounce you around. Got to go back for this one. I like the little kayaker's face, it's gone purple as the hills are a bit cold. This is one of the more, I'd say it's probably one of the more serious sims. If you play world games, or California games, there's a bit more of a sense of humour that starts to creep in. Even winter games, I think. Well, no, winter games is probably quite serious, if I remember. World games and California games, they're probably a bit more humorous, which can help. I mean, just gives the games that little touch. Spin round to her. The graphics are okay here. Do the job quite well. Given for its time, I think graphically it was very good. But obviously, as time goes on, you know, as the years go on, the 64, the standard starts to creep up. I'm making an arse of this one. No, it probably doesn't look too impressive to most people today, but it was good for its time. And here we are at the finish line. No penalties, 2:31. Not a great time, but I'll do. We get the final standings. Obviously, I win because I was the only one playing, and then we get the closing ceremony, which is quite well done. Bloke in the jetpack. Right, I'll give this game 9 out of 10. I think it's one of the better, one of the best of the game series. That's certainly a good score. Okay, that's all for this video.